Hi everyone, I'm the plant propagator and welcome to my channel. Today will probably be a short video. I've got some dendrobiums here, and it's pretty sticky here today. Orchids are loving it though. So it rained this morning. I'm feeling raindrops right now. It is I think it's about noon. And it's going to be raining, I think, periodically, off and on, all day. And I don't know if you can tell, the sun is out, and it's just, it's great for my orchids. Anyway, what I wanted to do today is share with you even more information on Woo Leng and progeny of Woo Leng. So Woo Leng is right here. So this dendrobium just blooms for me constantly. The plant that's generating these flowers is up on my shelf right here. And what you may or may not be able to see right here, there's another flower, another bloom spike coming out on the plant that is about here. There's another bloom spike further up buried in the bougainvillea. And it's one of my favorite dendrobiums because it just blooms all the time. It does get a little big, but it's only in, I think, an 8-inch pot wired to my shelf, but it's a great plant. Aside from it blooming all the time and being incredibly vigorous, there is fragrance. So sometimes I come out here and I don't smell anything, but today, maybe because of the humidity or for whatever reason, it is, and this is a fresh spike of flowers. I should say, I don't know if you can tell, so there's a spike here, there's another spike here behind it, and then there's another one here. So this thing is it's always blooming. It's very prolific. It's got keikis coming out all over it. I actually had one of the canes that was kind of falling down that I had to cut and put the cut cane behind my pergola, or behind my shed, and it has now a keiki coming out of that, which is kind of why I did it and what is expected. So this is a great plant. The nice thing about it is it's striking to me. The flowers for dendrobiums are relatively large. There's the flowers on dendrobium on this Woo Leng, on the parent plant. They're white, or maybe just a little off-white, but the lip is very purple, and it's just really a striking flower when you have one color lip and the petals and sepals are different colors, and so this overall is just it's a great plant, but I'm sorry, I keep on smelling it. I can't get away from the fragrance. What I want to do though, it's also very fertile and very prolific. So I've crossed this, I've selfed this, I used Woo Leng quite a bit. I have a progeny plant from Woo Leng that's right here. It's not important, but I crossed Woo Leng onto it, and it's got a seed capsule forming. There's a tag on this one of the capsules back, or one of the spikes back here, and so I really like using this plant. What I want to show you, the two plants, the one here that you can see and the one here that you can barely see, these are progeny plants of Woo Leng that I've generated, and these are just selfs. This is one of my favorite progeny plants right here, and this is the second bloom on this, and I don't know, you can't tell, I think the pot is off the screen, but this is a relatively small seedling, but it's just huge, and it's got, again, it's got a flower spike here, and it's got another flower spike here. The thing that I like about this, a lot of the progeny plants that I get from this, they end up being kind of shadows of the parent plant. So they end up having the white petals and sepals, but the lip isn't quite as dark and as prominent as the parent plant here. This one I like because there is a nice tinge of purple in the in the petals, and so this makes it stand out. And the color purple in the lip is also pretty dark. So this is a really nice progeny plant, and I'm happy with that. Some of the other ones I might not hold on to, but I'm going to hold on to this one again because this was, I think, one of the first ones that I had bloom. But because this is the second blooming on this plant. The first bloom was 2 spikes. This bloom has 2 spikes coming out of it. But I really like the, again, the coloration in the flower. The other thing that I like about this plant, not as intense, but I got fragrance. Not all of the progeny plants from Woo Leng I'm getting fragrance on, even though it's a self, but this one I am getting some fragrance, a little bit out of that, not as much, like I said, as the parent plant here. So I'm going to hold on to this. This is a nice plant, and I should mention that when you generate a self progeny of a named plant, what you get is that you have to you have to keep the same name. So this is also called Dendrobium Woo Leng, and this again is it's one of my favorites of this. All right, this is and like I said, this is a repeat bloomer. What I also have is a first bloom. And that's this one right here. So this is another progeny plant. I'm going to bring it out so you can see. They do get a little bit, I don't know if you can see, yeah, they do get a little bit long. But it may be because of where I have this located. So I have this over on the shelves here, and they're in the back of the shelves, and they kind of try to grow out of the shelves to reach the light. This, and I hate to have all my plants keepers, but I like this almost as much as this one. It bloomed a little bit later, so this is a first bloom on this Woo Leng progeny. And I should mention that I deflasked these plants maybe around 4 years ago, so it took a little while for this one at least to bloom. I've got another progeny plant right here that is about to bloom, and I'm always excited about first blooms, but again, this one right here is also a first bloom. The difference between this Woo Leng progeny and this Woo Leng progeny, both called Woo Leng, is that this one also has purple, a really light purple coloration in the petals and sepals, but it's more in the center, so it's almost like a flare on this, and that's what I'm excited about on this one. I didn't know the first one opened, and I thought, well, okay, I'm not really sure what I have. But then all of the other flowers open, and it's the same pattern on all of them. So it has the purple coloration is a little bit stronger in the center of the petals, and it gives it a kind of a flare look when you have that. Fragrance on this, maybe it's the humidity and the heat of the day. No, not as much as this one, but earlier today, I'm picking up just a little bit of fragrance, not much. The lip on this plant is not, it's close to as dark purple as this other progeny plant, but not quite. It's a nice plant. I wish I could keep all these, but look at this plant. I'm not sure whether I can or not. And again, I got this one blooming. I love all my orchids, but as I get more, and I am getting more, I'm not going to be able to keep them. So I'm going to have to really make some difficult decisions and let some of these guys go. But again, these are all unique progeny plants. What you get, now I do want to mention that what you get in progeny is you can get the parents of the plant that you start with plus a little bit more. So what you can get is, as you self the plant, you can get recessive genes that will come out. So you may, you're not going to get plants that look exactly like this. You're going to get plants that look maybe like the grandparents and then a little bit beyond. So you get a broad range of things. Sometimes it's fun doing selfing for breeding, because again, some of the recessive traits and the recessive characteristics, when they come out, they're really striking. So this, this kind of flaring that I'm seeing in the petals, this is striking, and you don't see that too much in dendrobiums. But if it is a recessive trait, once I cross it to something, I'm not going to see it. Anyway, but I could keep on selfing it, and keep on going generations to see what recessive traits I get, what comes out of it. The problem is that when you keep on selfing it, a lot of these recessive traits are bad, and you don't want those. Anyway, it's kind of it's a game that you can play if you want to, and I don't know whether you can tell, but I'm running out of space to play this game. All right, so that's all I wanted to share with you. Woo Leng just doing really well. Woo Leng progeny plant right here doing incredibly well. I should mention this one is growing in my pergola, so a little bit of different conditions for it, but they're all doing really well. And then this other Woo Leng that has some flaring in the petals. I'm happy with all, but difficult decisions coming up on which ones to hold on to. All right, that's all I have for today. I hope you enjoyed my video. If you did and you want to keep on seeing them, it would help me out if you can click on like, share, and subscribe to my channel if you're not already a subscriber. All right, that's it. Again, I hope you enjoyed it, and happy propagating.